Hare Krishna.
On this side and she's on this side like we usually do. Thank you.
Yeah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Ashtottara Shri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamana Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha Pandita Sama Darshanaha Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha Pandita Samadarshana Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha Pandita Samadarshana
Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha Pandita Samadarshina
Vidya Vinaya Sampanne
Vidya Vinaya Sampanne
Brahmane Gavihastini
Brahmane Gavihastini
Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha
Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha
Pandita Samadarshinaha
Pandita Samadarshinaha.
Ladies,
Vidya Vinaya Sampanne
Vidya Vinaya Sampanne
Brahmane Gavihastini
Brahmane Gavihastini
Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha
Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha
Pandita Samadarshaniha
Pandita Samadarshinaha.
someone like to read word for word and translation and purport?
Vidya with education, Vinaya and gentleness, Sampanne fully equipped, Brahmane in the Brahmana, Gavi in the cow, Hastini in the elephant, Shuni in the dog, Cha and Eva certainly, Shwapake in the dog eater, the outcast, Cha respectively, Panditaha those who are wise, Samadarshinaha who see with equal vision. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast. Purport. A Krishna-conscious person does not make any distinction between species or castes. The Brahmana and the outcast may be different from the social point of view, or a dog, a cow, and an elephant may be different from the point of view of species, but these differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of a learned transcendentalist. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme, for the Supreme Lord, by His plenary portion as Paramatma, is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of the Supreme is real knowledge. As far as the bodies are concerned in different castes or different species of life, the Lord is equally kind to everyone, because He treats every living being as a friend, yet maintains Himself as Paramatma, regardless of the circumstances of the living entities. The Lord as Paramatma is present both in the outcast and in the Brahmana, although the body of a Brahmana and that of an outcast are not the same. The bodies are material productions of different modes of material nature, but the soul and the supersoul within the body are of the same spiritual quality. The similarity in the quality of the soul and the supersoul, however, does not make them equal in quantity, for the individual soul is present only in that particular body, whereas the Paramatma is present in each and every body. A Krishna-conscious person has full knowledge of this, and therefore is truly learned and has equal vision. The similar characteristics of the soul and supersoul are that they are both conscious, eternal, and blissful. But the difference is that the individual soul is conscious within the limited jurisdiction of the body, whereas the supersoul is conscious of all bodies. The supersoul is present in all bodies without distinction.
Om Jnana-timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadhati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Raghunathan Vitam Stam Sajivam Shadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lolita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kamshana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kolpitarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Pyevacha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Govihashtani Shuni Jaiva Shupake Jai Pandita Samadarshana. The world is looking for equality. We, what is it, égalité, fraternité, liberté. We want equal treatment for everyone. But first of all, that equality is so often conditional. We want equality for all the human beings, but the animals, we want them to be available for exploitation. So where's the equality? Where's the egalitarian spirit? Where's the friendship? There's pseudo-equality. Real equality means all living beings, that one doesn't see that only the human beings are equal, all living beings, because the vision is not, what's the word, arbitrary. It's not that we just arbitrarily say, yes, all all men are equal or whatever. But it's based on true knowledge, true understanding. That means spiritual understanding. On the material platform, equality is not there. The dog and the elephant, if you have a big logs to pull, you don't engage a dog. You engage an elephant. Because the elephant can do that work, the dog can't do it. Because of the different bodies. The bodies are different. We touch the feet of a Brahmin, but we wouldn't touch the feet of a tiger. So, on the material platform, everyone's different. And the idea that we'll have equality is foolish. Material equality is a program for fools. Everyone is equal. Everyone is different. When there are different levels of intelligence, different levels of physical strength, different this, different that. Not that everything is somehow, by fiat, equal. Different. The women's equality movement is foolish because it's based on wanting to establish bodily equality, physical equality, which there isn't. There's difference, obviously. So where is but we still feel that there should be equality. That this group or that group shouldn't be discriminated against. So everyone's looking for equality, and they're looking for it on the material platform, and not finding it, or finding it where it doesn't exist. The equality is on the spiritual platform. If we're looking for equality, that's where we should look. Even we want all castes to be equal. Abolish caste, but caste just means different levels of qualification. Why should there be a lawyer caste? Anyone can be a lawyer just by hanging out a sign in front of his house. He has to have some qualification. So, guna karma vibhagasha. The caste means, according to the work one actually does, according to the qualities that one has. And on that platform, people are different. But on the spiritual platform, all living beings are equal. And that's the emphasis given here. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne means a Brahmin who's equipped with all the gentle qualities. A Brahmin is not supposed to be aggressive, and a policeman is not supposed to be gentle. The Brahmin should be very humble, very gentle. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. And the learned person sees no difference between a Brahmin and a cow, hostini, an elephant, shuni, a dog, and shapaka. Shapaka means a dog eater. From the social point of view, the dog eaters are the lowest. We consider different people according to what they eat. A person who eats human flesh is a cannibal. A person who eats dog flesh is very low. A person who eats prasadam is transcendental. So, as Prabhupada points out, from a social point of view, the Brahmin and the dog eater are quite different. The cow and the tiger and the elephant are different. But there's absolute oneness because the quality of the spirit soul is the same. the materialistic scientists discriminate in terms of the body, and they say that somehow or other the higher form, when you get to a higher level, then consciousness develops. So the not only scientists but different religionists, so because we have a higher nervous system, so human beings have consciousness. The animals don't really have consciousness, or the human being has a soul. The lower creatures don't really have a soul. Why not? Consciousness is the same in all living entities, but it's expressed differently and informed differently according to the body. If you have the body of a tiger, you have a body of a, what is that, a leopard, you can go very fast. A cheetah, these animals are very fast. And if you have the body of a snail, you'll go very slow. Just like if you have a race car, you can go so fast. And if you have a horse cart, or you have an old car, and you can go at a slower speed. But you're the same person. It's not that if I'm in a sports car, then I'm different than if I'm in an old Ford or an old horse cart. The machine is different. Yantra rudhani maya. Machinery is different, but we don't identify the person with the machine, although conventionally we may. That Prabhupada, just like we yell out, "Hey, taxi!" Now the man is not a taxi. The car is the taxi. But sometimes we identify the taxi with the man. So externally, or we see the car of the Prime Minister, we say, "Oh, the Prime Minister's here." You haven't seen the Prime Minister, you've only seen his car. But we know that within the car, the Prime Minister is there. So superficially, there's some identification with the body and the soul, because now the body is, what would you say, bound. The soul is bound to the body. You can't separate them. That come to my house, but don't bring your body. That you can't say. But the learned person knows that the body is the covering of the soul, the dress of the soul, or the machine that the soul is using for the time being. But it's fundamental that I'm not this body. I'm not a Brahmin body, or a dog-eater's body, or a Swiss body, or American body, Indian body. I'm not this body, whatever it is. And therefore the learned person, Pandit means a learned person. Pandit, generally this title is used for the Brahmins, but the Brahmins are not always Pandit. Pandit means a learned person. A learned person, Pandit. Sometimes one may be a Brahmin by birth, but he's a fool. Then he's not actually a Pandit. But Pandita, Samadarshana, those who've achieved this spiritual vision, are entitled to be considered Pandits. Samadarshana, seeing everyone with an equal eye. This is a characteristic of the saintly people. They're kind to the human beings, they're kind to the animals, One time I brought Srila Prabhupada a plate of prasadam. This was in Boston in 1968. And on the plate there were some big black ants that had crawled up. So I started to brush them away. And Prabhupada said, no. And he said, let them play. He said, they are also living entities. Let them play. So this is the vision of a saintly person. He doesn't see, oh, he's not a human being. No, they're also spiritual beings. Let them play. Atmopamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjana sukham va yadiva dukkham yogi paramomata. In the 6th chapter, a self-realized person sees others in comparison to himself, or sees them to be like himself. Atmavat sarvabhuteshu. He sees all living beings to be like himself. I want to live, the cow wants to live. I have feelings, cow has feelings. I like to have affection for my family, cow has affection for their family. So why this distinction then? That the human beings should have equal rights and the animals should have no rights. The self-realized person sees consciousness present in every body and sees that the consciousness is the same, although the embodiment is different. But Prabhupada makes the point that it's not that because the soul is the same in every body, therefore the soul is identical with the Supreme Soul or the personality of Godhead. It's not that I'm spirit, God is spirit, therefore I'm God. That doesn't work. I'm Swiss, the president is Swiss, therefore I'm the president. That doesn't really work. So one has to see that the soul is qualitatively one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but in quantity there's a difference. We're infinitesimal, and the personality of Godhead is infinite. So, we're eternal, God is eternal. We're by nature blissful, so is God. We have knowledge naturally, God has knowledge. But God has these qualities to an infinite extent, unlimited knowledge. We have a little bit of knowledge. So this simple understanding is also the correct understanding. Not that equal vision means that I'm also one with God in all respects. That's more foolishness. So one should understand Bhagavad Gita as it is. Then he'll see that I'm within my one body, but the super soul is present in all bodies. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarvik kshetreshu bharata. I'm present in my own body, but Krishna is present in all the bodies. Therefore I'm a tiny living being, and Krishna is unlimited. Are there some questions or comments? Yes.
Thank you so much for your lecture. So one point was, I was asking myself sometimes why why dog eaters are especially low, because like the cow is considered as a mother. And
cow eaters are also low. But the dog eaters are, I don't even know exactly how it's calculated. Why do we not say that the cow eaters are low. They certainly are. They're the most sinful. But dog eaters are taken as really low. I'm not exactly quite sure.
So what I just got to know is that, like in Vietnam, they...
Not close.
Oh, sorry. In Vietnam, they used to eat dogs sometimes, and my sister told, like, the meat was smelling like burnt machine or something like that. So
the dog meat was tasting, was like
also
what?
It smelled like a burnt machine or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm
sure it does.
So
but these things, Prabhupada, these things are there that what in Bhagavad Gita in the 17th chapter, Trividha Bhavati Priyaha. That there are, according to the three modes of nature, there's a food that's dear to each person. Ayu sattva bala rogya sukha priti vivardhana rasya snigdha vidya rasya snigdha bala vidya, like that. Ahara sattvika priya. Those who are in the sattva goodness, they prefer food that's nourishing, that gives longevity, that gives strength, freedom from disease, that's pleasing, that's hearty, nourishing meals. Gatvamla lavanat yushna tikshna ruksha vidahinaha ahara rajasasyeshta dukkha shokamaya prada. Those who are in passion like food that's super salty, super sweet, super sour. Gatvamla lavanat yushna, super hot, sensational. It's got to be max this, max that. And dukkha shokamaya, it causes disease, it causes misery, causes lamentation, but that's what they like. That's what they like. And then shukapriti then uchishtam apicha medyam bhojanam tamasa priyam yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat. Food that's stale, food that's smelly, food that's rotten, food that's old, food that's already been the remnants of other people's food. Gatarasam, it doesn't have any juice in it anymore. People in the mode of ignorance, that's what they go for. Maybe I'll wait till the next country before I say anything about Swiss cheese. In some countries, if the cheese has lots of nice green or blue mold in it, then it's like really nice. And this is for those who are in ignorance. That's what they like. If it's moldy, if it's been fermented for 40 years, then it's especially esteemed. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I have one question.
Yes. I think it's off. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Regarding having a dog at home as a pet.
Regarding having a dog at home.
Yes, we are having a dog at home.
Best friend.
Yeah, it's my best friend, and he's vegan, and he's listening to kirtan. He's vegan. Our dog is vegan.
A vegan dog.
Yeah, and he's listening to kirtans.
Yes.
Almost daily. So I see him as a devotee.
Hmm.
But there are other devotees telling me that's not right, having a dog at home because you have an altar and dog is dirty and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me your opinion about that?
Okay. Some say that you're seeing the dog as a devotee. He's a vegan dog, and he likes kirtan. But others say that dogs are dirty and so on. Now, of course, the dogs also can participate in Krishna consciousness. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jayakanda forest, all the animals were taking part in his kirtan. The tigers were dancing with the deer. All the animals were chanting and dancing. And 22nd Avenue, when we would have kirtan, there was a cat that used to come for every kirtan and sit on the ledge of the window. So, and many others. In Vrindavan, there was New Vrindavan, they had a dog. They called him Hari Rama because he used to growl like that. Hari Rama, Hari Rama. And now where is that? In South India? Where that Keshavam elephant was there? Which place? My mind is missing a beat. But there's a temple in South India. Not Srirangam, no. It's on the west coast. Don't think it wasn't Udupi, but it was someplace very famous. That South India, big temples will keep elephants for the deity processions and so on. So this one elephant, Keshava, he was insisting that I have to carry the deity in the procession. He wouldn't let any of the other elephants take his service, and he was in so many ways seen to be devoted to the deity. And at the end of his life, the elephant strode into the temple, prostrated himself before the deity, and left his body. They're still keeping the tusks of that elephant just outside the altar. So even in the animals can be engaged in devotional service. That said, the dogs are generally, by nature, not very clean. We can have a pig also. A pig can also listen to the kirtan, but pigs are not very clean. The dogs are not very clean. They leave their hairs all over the house. They typically drool here and there. If they're vegan, it's not by their natural inclination, but it's, because you're not giving him anything else. If you lose sight of him, he may depart from his vegan standard. The dog licks its rump and then licks our face. Such a nice... this is the nature of the dog. So in Vedic culture, they had dogs, but they would keep them outside the house. They weren't kept in the house, because then the house becomes like the dog. It becomes contaminated. Shivananda said there was a dog that joined the pilgrim party that was going to Puri, and Shivananda Sen took as much care for the dog as for the other members of the party. Kadamba Maharaj told me that one time when he was temple president of Vrindavan, there was a big feast held for the devotees. In the temple room, they served a nice feast. You know how they do it with the leaf plates and so on. And one monkey came in, probably one of those, oh gosh, what are they called? Those big gray monkeys, langurs. Yeah, probably one of those langurs. Came in and sat behind the plate like a proper gentleman. Maharaj made sure he got prasad. He's also one of the devotees. But people develop attachments. They don't have love of, Prabhupada said they have no love for God, but they have love for dog. We see that a person has no family members, he keeps a dog, or anyway he keeps a dog, and the children develop affection for the dog. The master is so affectionate to the dog. Actually, that affection is meant for Krishna. But it gets diverted to the dog, and at the time of death, where will the master go? So, in Vedic culture, the animals have their place, and they're useful, they do service, but they're not kept in the house. Is that okay? Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for a heart-expanding class. I have an odd question. Can there be consciousness in non-living forms? In non-living forms, can there be consciousness?
What do you mean by a non-living form?
A statue. Statue, for example. A statue.
Statue. What do you think? Where's the evidence of consciousness in the statue?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a question that surfaced during your class. It's just a question that surfaced in me during your class.
Generally, the symptoms of consciousness are that there's growth, there's appearance or birth, there's growth, there's expansion, byproducts, there's dwindling, there's death. So we don't see that in the statue. The materialistic scientists, some of them hold the idea of creating consciousness in a inanimate system, a computer network, or some think that the computer networks are conscious. But there's lots of holes in that argument, or in that view. It's really got problems with it. The idea that anyone's interested in strong artificial intelligence, the idea that we can create a computer that'll be so intelligent that it'll have consciousness, that idea is put out there and pretty well smashed by an American philosopher named John Searle. He put, by now a famous example of Chinese room. Chinese room is a room with some people in it sitting at desks and translating Chinese into another language like English. And the way they do it is that they have, on the one side of the room, there's these pieces of paper with Chinese characters. And the people at the desks have rule books. When you see a squiggle, make it a squoggle. When you see this, make it a that. So they apply these rules, and then they have new slips of paper with the new character, and it goes out the other window. Now, would you say that the people in the room know Chinese? Or would you say that as a whole, the room knows Chinese? No. They're just blindly following some rules. When you see this, make it that. So you can do that with the computer. When you see any symbol, make it any other symbol. And then you say, wow, it turned this series of symbols into those series of symbols. But it's just following mathematically programmed rules. It has no understanding, no consciousness the way conscious living beings do. There's also the problem of what's called qualia, or experience. There's something that it's like to be a conscious living being. There's something that it's like to be a conscious. There's something that it's like to be a bat or a dog or some other creature. There's something that it's like to be a human being. There's something that's like to be conscious, and the statue doesn't have that. What it's particularly like to be conscious is that you have experience. When you're hungry, it's not just a series of chemically observable conditions, but there's something that it feels like to be hungry. And you can program a computer to say, okay, when these chemicals come to these sensors, print out, I'm hungry. But that's not experience. Sariputta Prabhu talked about that. You can set up something with a light sensor and a computer and a printout device, and you put a red light in front of the sensor, and the sensor will see it, and then there'll be a printout, I see a red light, but where's the experience? So the unique a unique aspect of consciousness is that it has experience. Conscious living beings have experience. Statues don't. Yes?
Radhesham, Jayadvaita Maharaj. We hear very much about consciousness, the word consciousness, and many times I ask myself, do we have a definition for the word consciousness?
Yeah, there's a good, of course, from our Vedic point of view, consciousness is the a feature of a being that's eternal, that's blissful, that's knowledgeable by nature. One philosopher said that consciousness is, let me think about this, continuous individual awareness. I think that was the term. I'm taking this from, I heard this from Akandadi Prabhu. Those who are scientifically minded can look up the Atma paradigm, a series of YouTube videos by Akandadi Prabhu, quite enlightening, informative, and strong. But consciousness is experience. It's continuous. It's not that it jumps around. This morning there's consciousness. This afternoon there's not consciousness. Like ice, now it's ice and now it's something else. No, it's continuous. It's individual. Consciousness is always associated with, if I feel hungry, you don't go to the refrigerator. Each individual person has his own experience, so it's continuous, it's individual, and it's experiential. How's that?
And Krishna, Conscious of himself.
Yes, definitely. Krishna is conscious. He has Krishna consciousness. He's the original Krishna conscious being.
Yeah, that's why he said, as you said.
Yeah. When he's conscious of himself, when I'm conscious of myself, I'm conscious of a little small particle of reality. When Krishna is conscious of himself, he's conscious of everything. Yes.
Following the question of this gentleman about the statue.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. See, the microphones only work when they're close. Yes.
Is it working now?
Yeah, it was working before, I think. It just has to be close.
Okay.
Unhygienically close
right.
to your mouth,
Right,
then it
yes.
works.
This gentleman was asking about the status of a statues.
Yes.
And I believe, I know that Krishna is in the Murti, but some people could
Krishna's
could consider the Murti as a statue as well. So could you explain for the one who maybe don't know the Murti consciousness?
I couldn't get it. Could you?
The Murti.
The Murti. Yeah. That's because Krishna is present personally. Krishna is present personally everywhere. That's his nature. So from that point of view, there's consciousness everywhere because Krishna is everywhere. But still, the individual statue of, Tesla or this person or that person is not conscious. We don't. If we worship the statue of an ordinary living being, there's no real benefit. We're not connected with anything higher. But Krishna has that capability to appear in this form. So that's a whole different story when we're talking about that. He can see, he can walk, he can accept whatever you offer. He's not the ordinary statue. Yeah. In the couple minutes left, actually there are no minutes left, but anyway, this book we've recently published, Srila Prabhupada's Kirtan Standards. It's meant to compile different instructions given by Srila Prabhupada about Kirtan, so that those who are interested in Kirtan, which I think is all of us, can know what Prabhupada said, what he approved, what he disapproved, what he liked, what he didn't like, what he did, what he didn't do, what standards he set. So the book's meant for, my other previous book, that was for outreach, that was for outsiders. But this book is for the devotees. And it's gotten a good reception. And it has a fabulous forward by our Madhava Das. So therefore anyone who's Swiss should get a copy. The forward alone is worth the book. Very, very good. But yeah, I won't say more about it unless there's a question. And I'm told that there are copies here so that you actually can get it. Yes. Oh, there are the copies. Just see. Okay. And I'll not extend things. I'll just stop here. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. The Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Any more work for me to do?
I'll take Prashad.
No, I'm not going to do that. Somebody else. Okay. Yes, I will sign them. If I can take a 2-minute break, then I can sign books. If I can take a 2-minute break, then I'll sign this. Which way am I going? And then I'll come back.
You can also sign them in the room.